I'm excited to see you, be with you, and say good morning. Go ahead and share out the link. Let everybody know we are on today, moving into the space of understanding my power, speaking your power, moving in your power, saying that this is my opportunity to say, I am going to pause in my power. Why do I keep saying that today? Because some of us don't know that we have power. Some of us don't realize that the power within us is important for us to shine. So today, I wanted to share that out with you and be with you. So if you haven't gotten your book, Speak Your Power Now, has an opportunity for you to, myself, Dr. Cheryl Clarke, has written a book, and this book is Girl, You're Cute. And in this, it's just not a book, it's a memoir of my life of a therapist. However, it is giving you practical tools that you can walk with, you can move with throughout this space. All right, so we're going to go right to the beginning of the book where it has a Speak Your Power Now declaration. So let's go ahead and move together in speaking our power now, declaring our day. This is how we start each call, each and every call that we begin to move. So let's take a nice, long, slow, deep breath into the nostrils and exhale that out. Take a nice, long, slow, deep breath in through the nostrils once again. And exhale that out. Repeat silently to yourself after me. Today I reclaim my power of purpose. Today I declare that I have unshakable faith and confidence in my uniqueness. Let that sink in. Today I declare that I will not live in fear, but with power, love, and a sound mind. Today I declare that I will always communicate with words to empower myself and others. Today I declare to always honor myself by living in the present and living powerfully in each moment. Amen and Ashe. All right. So if this is your first time here, welcome. This is the power call that I come live every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk you through a space and a place today where if you are where it doesn't matter if you're in your car, doesn't matter if you're still home, if you can actually speak your power right where you are. And this is an opportunity for us to gather as women of color, and especially I tend to say we lose our power in our voice and we don't even know it. So in this space today, what I'm going to encourage you all to do is just do that. I'm going to ask you, encourage you to speak your power now. And in this time, we're not here very long, but I'm here to let you know that there's a space for you and there's a place for you in the world. And it starts with your voice. So I call this, and I do a voice recovery session. So this is what it is. I have a workshop that I do monthly, and it's a voice recovery. I find myself to be not only a behavioral health specialist, but I'm also a voice recovery specialist because what I attempt to give people to do is give people to be able to declare it. I'm going to be able to equip ourselves to be engaged with how you can now move with your voice. So in this space, I want to say good morning, powerful women. And this is the space where you can have a weekly time. And we're going to dive in. So take a deep breath and exhale that out. Now, this time I want you to do this. Take a deep breath, and I want you to breathe in power and exhale out. Not to diminish you, I want you to do it one more time. Take a deep breath in and exhale that out. See, what happens is you're getting oxygen to the brain. You letting the brain know that I am important. You letting the brain know that I need to pay attention and recalibrate. So as I look at your boxes, as I look in this space and people all over the place, from all over the country, some people from different parts of the country here, different parts of the United States here. You may be joining from your car. You may be joining from your kitchen table. You may be joining from your desk at work. Wherever you are, you made the choice this morning to go ahead and invest in your time. Invest where you are. Invest where I say that I am going to declare my power. And now we've already did the declaration, right? Now it's time for you to declare your power. Right now, right where you are. Don't look at the left, don't look at the right. This is your time to create a space for you. To create a space of power. Now let's be intentional right now. Each week, if this is your first time here, welcome. But each week on this call, we declare the power that we have. We're equipping the tools that we may not really know that we have. So in this space, in this today's call, this call is going to be about my voice matters. I want you to write that in the chat. My voice matters. I want you to write that in the chat right now. My voice matters. Oh, yes. Let's write that in the chat. My voice matters all over. I'm going to write it too. My voice matters. If you're able to write that, thank you, Sharni, Miss Harmon. My voice matters. And thank you, Denise. I know some of you may not be able to write because you're driving. Be safe. And that's what it's about. So let's start talking about some truth here. This week, you may have been wrestling with something, maybe in your relationship, maybe inner, maybe some negative words that you may tell yourself. You know, a lot of women have been talking to me about and thanking me for this space. You know, I never really understood, you know, my call and my voice. You know, there was a time I didn't even like the sound of my voice. And they would say to me a lot of times, a lot of the women would DM me or they would talk to me and be in my sessions. They would say, I try to speak up, but sometimes I get frozen. Sometimes I feel like I don't really have much to say. What am I supposed to say? Here's what I do know. That response doesn't make you weak, that you freeze. It just makes you human. And what happens is that your nervous system has learned how to protect yourself so you stay quiet. So you have a protective system in your body. As a clinician, I'm also going to, this is not therapy, I'm going to take it away from this is all psychoeducation. For you to understand that your brain has a protective mechanism that wants to serve you. It wants to serve you at all costs. And sometimes our brain says that we're in danger. So from a clinical perspective here, you're experiencing what we called in this space the either the four F's, the fight, the flight, or the freeze, or the fawn situation. And when your brain does this, it's exactly designed to keep you safe. But the information that I want you to know today is you can retrain your brain to know that your voice matters and to stop freezing in the moment. See, research shows, this is why I combine the clinical principles with the voice recovery type of techniques that I have. Because you suppress your voice for so long, you've learned that your voice doesn't matter. And see, in the Speak Your Power Now declaration, it's like sometimes we learned in the voice recovery that you may have learned some ways of speaking that disempowers people. If you become aggressive or you have self-deprivation of words, I'm not worthy to be heard, or possibly, what do I have to say? Oh my God, I'm going to sound stupid. See, speaking with confidence is about you training and practicing how to speak. I choose to get out of my comfort zone. And you know something? Getting out of your comfort zone possibly may be you speaking up in a meeting. Now, voice recovery is not just for me, it's for all women to rise up in their voice. See, it means like you can now say that my voice matters and really mean it. Really mean that your voice really matters. So now this call is about, like we did the declaration, I gave you a little tidbit about what that is. Now I'm going to give you some practical tools that you can now take with you today. See, my experience over 15 years in being a clinician and understanding this role of understanding how to step in my power was me feeling like I was not the person for the job. Me understanding that this is not the place for me. Maybe I don't fit or I belong. So I'm going to teach you something here, and it's called stop. In the voice recovery method, I want you just to stop. And you're going to and we're going to it's going to be an acronym for we're going to give some words for the acronym for stop. The first is S. The S is for stop and notice when you feel as though your voice doesn't matter. Stop. When you feel like your voice is getting smaller, stop and pause. Notice what's happening in your body. Notice what's happening with your thoughts. Notice what's happening in your environment. Think about when your voice gets small. Think about that. Notice when you find yourself shrinking. I want you to stop. Notice what's happening to your body. Now we call this somatic things. Your palms may sweat, your heart may race, you may have you may break out in a sweat. Notice. Notice also your thoughts. Notice what happens to you in this moment. And notice your environment. Did you leave the environment? I want you to actually figure what is happening because sometimes we're not aware. So I'm making you very aware. And when I am starting to shrink, the T, think. I want you to think power. Think about what I'm going to say. Think about my value. Think about what I'm going to be, how I don't feel safe in this moment. Think about, is it really happening? What's the truth here right now that I need to say, but I need to say it in a way that never disempowers anyone. But I need to say it in a way that they get the point. I need to be assertive right now. But how do I do that when I don't know how to do that? The O, operate from your value system. There are so many times that we don't operate in our value system. Now, what's a value system? The value is what you value. You guide your voice with your value. That's all it is. What matters to you most is that your value system. So if you value time, if you value that and someone is always late, then you can actually say that to them because they're not valuing you or your time. And then the P is proceed with power. Now that's speaking from your authentic self, not fearing what people may say, not people pleasing, not moving into a space of I'm going to not say this, I better not say that. See, in meeting anybody in a conversation, I want you to know that that you have to commit in the first 2 minutes. That's what research shows. It says in the first 2 minutes, I want you to show up in how you can be authentically yourself. So sometimes in a space, we can show up and your anxiety may be there. And so, guess what? When you are moving in this space, if you're in a meeting or a group and we're moving, remember our voice matters. Commit to what you're going to say in the first 2 minutes. You can take that pause. Remember the STOP. You're going to stop, pause, get your thoughts together. Because guess what? When you're not used to speaking up, or when you're used to speaking and then taking power, like I'm going to get my way out of nowhere, it doesn't matter. So sometimes this is what you're going to do. This is what you can do. Ask a question. Get curious. Ask a question. Be observant. Don't just jump in. Sometimes when we're anxious, we jump. Get your body under control. That's what we're doing. If your mind is under control, this is what I always talk about the brain. I used to love teaching when I was an adjunct professor. Um, about a couple of years ago, I used to love teaching intro to psych because they talked about the brain, and that's what I really, really love intro to psych. So the brain is your central nervous system. If this goes, everything else goes. And I always think about it as Grand Central Station. There's inputs and output. The trains are going. Think about your brain as the Grand Central Station. And when you get up there, the first thing you see is a board with all the trains. You see one train going this way, that way, across town. It's just going so many different directions. That is your brain. There's inputters and outputters. So when you take a moment to get really focused and find the direction that you're going in, you can observe better. And then you'll be able to build on someone else's point, because maybe you have to give latitude, give room for that if you're engaging in a two-way conversation. But remembering in your mind that your voice does matter. Remembering in your mind that you have the ability to begin to move in your power and share with someone what you need to share without disempowering someone. So why do I say this? Because in the application of this, it takes time. Here's what I do know that works. I know that when you are moving in this space and you're taking action and your brain begins to respond, you're creating some sort of outcome. Now, sometimes we don't really recognize that the outcome that we're creating is all through our actions and our words. So this is not just this is not about motivation. This is not to motivate you. This is to give you real tools so you can move into a space to, like we said in the very beginning, my voice matters, and really mean it. So if we had to practice right now, I thought I would do something right now. You know, we're not here for a long time, but we're here for you to really get it. So let's practice. Say the scenario is you're having a team meeting, right? You have a team meeting, you're on your most of us are working teams, or if not, you work on a situation where it's a group of people. And think about the tool I gave you in this scenario. You're in the team meeting, and then your boss asks you about a new project. And you have a great suggestion, but you notice that your voice is starting to crack. Your chest, remember this is the somatic things that I talked about in the very beginning. You got to notice your body. Stop. And know your chest is starting to tighten. Your thoughts is, they won't like my idea. I'm going to feel stupid. Oh my God, they're starting to, that imposter syndrome is coming up on top of your head, and you getting ready to talk about how you're not gonna be the best one to see. I'm gonna feel stupid. I'm gonna feel dumb. That was my thing. So, and everything. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So then you start working on the prayer. Like you start talking and praying. You start doing all this. Like now you're profusely sweating. Am I the only one here? Because this has happened to me. Full-blown panic attack. I've had them, and they're not fun. So now the anxiety is in full force. Now I'm gonna walk you through this. This is gonna be a real scenario. Walking through this is you stopping in the moment. That S. Noticing what's going on with you. Then you're gonna S is for think. I'm completely safe. My body's trying to keep me safe. But I need to speak. Cheryl, it's okay. Danielle, it's okay. Shawnee is good. Then O is like, I'm gonna operate from my values. I'm not gonna shrink my values. I'm not gonna do something that's out of my value system. And P is proceed with power. That means you're gonna be not aggressive, but assertively speaking what you need to speak. And this is where you get to be in scary situations and big situations, practicing how to begin to move that. So when you're in this space or group of people, you can start right there with ordering your coffee. You can start right there with understanding consistently small steps. Consistently. And this is where you get to move that. So we had that. I'm looking at you right now. I know that you're saying, well, I'm not saying I know what you're saying, but I can see that I know what it feels like to have your voice shrink and you feel vulnerable. So I want you to take your power. I want you to take your voice, private or public. You can start in that mirror. I do a lot of, remember I said I do my mirror work. Where's my mirror at? I think I'll put it over there today. I got my mirror right here because I talked to her. So when I look at this community, I want you to say, I'm committed. I'm committed to letting everyone know that my voice matters. All right, I'm gonna pause here. Anything showing up for anybody that wasn't clear or something that they need some information, anything that should, was it good? Was it great? Was it, what I know I was teaching a lot about your mind, your body, your voice. There's a couple of things. Anything showed up that anybody could open their mic because I know we may be at work, some things. So anybody would like to open up their mic, so please do so right now. All right. So I will say this. I know this call, everyone is either at work, they're doing what they need to do, but I want you to know that your power lies in your voice. You got to take the opportunity. And I want you to put in the chat, I choose today. Thank you, Denise. I choose today to use my voice. How about I choose today to lift my voice for myself and other women? Do you know that this experience, this journey, I started this because I saw so many women of color, specifically women of color, shrinking in the workplace, shrinking in their homes, shrinking in churches, shrinking. And this, you don't have to shrink any longer. You can stand in your power. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. Any thoughts?
Dr. Cheryl,
Yes,
can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear now.
Oh, okay, perfect. Um, I thank you for this. And I tell you, since I've been joining your calls, although they are brief, they are quick and powerful. I rarely have issue using my voice. I am a speaker, I'm a pastor, so I preach, I'm an encourager, just all those things. However, In my secular career, um, I have 35 years of healthcare administration. And the past 4 years, I moved into a new space, still healthcare, but it's compliance. The Lord gave me this job, and I know that. And the favor that came along with it. And there are many times, even most recent, that because I don't feel completely confident in the compliance world, because there's so many regulations and so many people on a team that have been strictly compliance for years. When we're in team meetings and we're all virtual, I feel exactly what I don't feel to the point of sweating and full on panic, but I'm just silent oftentimes. And then the director that we have, you can tell that there's huge favoritism to one particular person. So when that person speaks, it's as if the windows of heaven have opened up. Their ideas are amazing. Oh my gosh. And there's been times that I've said something and they've literally, the dis, the dismissiveness is so blatant that I felt my neck get hot. It wasn't even an acknowledgement of what I've said. And I'm not accustomed to that because I'm so confident in so many other areas of my life. So I'm listening to what you said. And I think that what I'm going to do, and you can help me with this. I'm sorry if I'm taking time, but I'm going to make sure, because I find myself trying to find a way to even get in the meeting. Like, when do I say something? When can I jump in? I'm going to use the reaction tool on Zoom. I'm going to raise my hand so that when she calls on me, I'll have a platform to say what I want to say. And then I'm going to ask her for feedback right there. Now, would that work? Or do you think I should talk to her one-on-one and tell her how I feel like she's behaving in this? Like, what do you suggest? Because I do feel my voice being muffled.
Okay. There's two things here that I want to ask you. There's a difference between confidence and competence. Two different things.
Mm,
Do you feel competent in what you're about to share?
absolutely.
Then don't ask permission. That's where I want you to stand in your power in. Because the difference is if you wasn't competent and you have the confidence, because you just said in the very beginning that I have no problem speaking up in every areas, but because I see other
Right.
people's track record. But
Mm.
Lachelle Bolton, if God, you feel like God gave you that job and you feel competent when you're sharing, stand in that same power. Stand in that same power.
And when it's not acknowledged, what I think that's the piece that I feel like sometimes there's a blow to my confidence when it's not acknowledged. What do you suggest for that?
So the thing is that where you are, you already identified, which this is why I started this, the voice recovery, because there's so many spaces and places that your voice attempts to get snatched, especially as a woman of color. And because
And I am the only woman of color on
ex-
the team.
exactly. So I want you to see that. I want you to see, and I want to validate that for you because you're not wrong. I've seen so many opportunities and I've seen so many black women of color be overlooked and then there's favoritism in the air other areas. Now what do you do with that? You just do you can bring it up if you like, if you feel like it does matter in a private setting with your boss, if you feel if it needs to be. Or you could stand and continue to do that and then say, in a private setting, I noticed, and you could say this because I don't want you to ever feel disempowered. And the thing is, and this is so good, you stop in a moment and say, how can I possibly have an audience with my boss about every time I notice that I have given a suggestion and it was overlooked? Now, what I would also do is note every time that I've given an example of this, and then say, and have your notes there, because they will probably say, maybe you're in your feelings or maybe you're overly reacting. So just have that.
Right.
That's what that, in my opinion, if I had an opportunity to share my voice, to move in that voice, that would be my
Okay.
suggestion.
All right. So what I'm hearing you say is gather my receipts, continue to raise my voice, and when it continues on one of my one-on-ones, I
Mhm.
will have the receipts. This is what was said, so on and so forth. This was the reaction or lack thereof. Thank you. But I'm going to continue to move in my confidence and competence. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing that to the space, because a lot of us, when we're looking at confidence and competence, she has both. Now, when it's snatched, when you feel like your voice is being snatched and always being diminished, that's when you got to do a self check. And that imposter syndrome will come in and say, Lachelle, girl, you know you ain't good enough for this. Look how many degrees they have. Imposter syndrome is real. But you got to look yourself in that mirror and you got to talk to that person in the mirror. You got to look and see how you can begin to move in this. When you feel broken down, you got to feel as though how you can move in this, but you don't feel competent enough. Or if you, and then let's go on the flip side of this. Say you do not feel competent. I would say get competent. I'm not going to take you off the leash with that. If you got a job and you're not feeling competent, go learn about something. Don't stay incompetent. Go learn about it. If you find that there's something that they keep talking about and you don't feel like you don't know about it, or you're not even feeling, if there's a space in you that's saying, oh wow, I didn't know about that. Don't sit back. Don't sit back. Because we need to actually look at, because what will happen is each day it will diminish your confidence and your voice will get smaller and smaller and smaller. So in this moment, if imposter syndrome creeps in and say, girl, maybe you don't belong here. Mm-mm. Look at, they got MBAs. Then you start connecting people's qualifications with yours and feeling inadequate. And nothing about your competency has changed. You got to look and see who you are. Now there's a truth here. The truth is your voice matters. It's the internal voices that we hear, those systems that we've been in, that keeps you quiet. So every woman listening here, thank Lachelle for bringing that into space. Your competencies doesn't decrease. Your calling won't change. Their dismissal of you says nothing about your worth. Your degree comparisons is just all that it will just bring up your maybe some things about was said to you that you're not good enough. It's my voice. It's the voice that every system needs to benefit from, not just silence. So as we move, and I had to realize this, my thing was being perfect. Sometimes I mispronounce words. I keep them. I keep it right on going. and I keep moving. Don't don't even don't suppress your voice, because the internal voice suppression, that's what keeps you silent and keeps you from growing. All right, any other thoughts before we close today? That was really good. All right, let's see. Let me read in the chat here. Um, Shawnee says, that was good, Lachelle. I can relate, but it's only with certain people. Okay. And Lachelle says, my God. So good. We did I did my job today. I want to thank each of you, ladies, for showing up. Share the link out. I'm here every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe in the space. I believe that I come, in a space where I can come in, and jump out and give you the power that you need. I thank you for showing up. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Darnetta. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Danielle, Sharonda, Shawnee, Charlene, Denise, and Lachelle. Peace and blessings to every woman of color here. Go ahead and join us next time. Join the movement. If you're in the Newburgh area on September 27th, myself and my friend Lachelle Bolton, Lady Bolton, will be showcasing our new books, and we're excited about it. In the heart of Newburgh, so at One Accord Christian Church, we're excited. Thank you. God bless you, and continue to know that your voice matters. Peace and blessings. Have a wonderful day.
You are enough. Your voice is divine. Now speak.